Yeah, they are, right? And, you know, look at that score line, 3-0. We'll see, though, what ends up happening here. Map 1's going to be Stronghold Recharge, and then we go on to Live Fire Slayer for Map 2. C9 vetoing Oddball and Sentinels, getting rid of Capture the Flag, which gave us Strongholds to start things off. This veto system has been, you know, pretty fun, in my opinion, as a commentator, because you kind of get a different layer. I was seeing some people online, you know, Spartan, I'm gonna give you some love, but I saw some people, it was like a kind of a back and forth between Spartan and Druck about, you know, the bans and stuff. It wasn't that big of a deal, don't get it twisted. It was mostly just how some teams are prioritizing their strong game modes over other squads, you know, and over other situations. I think it's really smart, Dave. I really like this veto system. It's different. It adds another layer to a game like Halo that, you know, when you're in the thick of it, has a ton of, you know, micro details and a lot of small little things you kind of have to point out for the viewers at home. But this kind of creates a bigger narrative of getting the map and game mode that works best for you.
Yeah, I like it. I do think it's arguably more balanced than just the normal format right now, because sometimes it's just luck of the draw. What's going to be those 5 game types that you're playing against these opponents? In this case, it is in your hands. You have a say as to what is or is not being played, but we're kicking this one off. Like GB said, this is Recharge Strongholds. That's going to be all 4 down for Sentinels, and Cloud9 already putting points on the board.
That's rough there for Sentinels right out of the gate. You're also going to get Renegade with that shock rifle too. They're going to try and maybe make a stop here at A. You can see the players starting to collapse, but there's also going to be pressure coming from the C plat as well. But he's actually just going to wait this one out. Renegade's going to dip on out of there. The 5 Ds of dodgeball. Oh, he's going to go for the zap there. Does manage to get one hit with it. And Frosty not able to make the ground, excuse me, with that sword to get the lunge mechanic to work out in his favor. But Sentinels are able to capture A throughout that entire exchange. LethuL was, by the way, having a damn good game against FaZe at the tail end of that series. We're hoping to see if he could do the same thing here today, but against Cloud9 it has been a little bit of a struggle for him, but it's also just been a struggle in general for Sentinels, because you can see right out of the gate here, even though Sentinels starting to score some points on the board, I don't feel like Cloud9 are like that concerned about it, because they can start to make the appropriate moves when they need to. They have that kind of command of the map.
Yeah, and here we are seeing Sentinels be able to bounce right back, get a temporary trip cap. Actually, they're going to continue that trip cap here for a moment.
Never mind.
And I like this position by SnakeBite. SnakeBite can be a force on all 3 strongholds if needed, and if they have the numbers. Right now, SnakeBite getting eco, 1 shot in the B. That's going to be a reset there.
This is huge
for Sentinels. So this trip cap is being extended for quite a bit. Now, Cloud9, you know, they're known for bringing it back. However, they have to stop this bleeding. Anytime you're in Strongholds, anytime the opposing team has 3 caps, you can let that happen for a little bit, but you need to start getting those contestants, and you get those converts, and somehow Cloud9 are going for the B Stronghold, which I strongly disagree with.
Yeah, well, by the way, that Galaxy Brain play there from SnakeBite, he had the grapple shot. He also was able to secure himself the active camo sword to boot. They were getting a power-up, power weapon combination out of that one, and they're recapping B here. This is actually a much different Sentinels than what we were seeing in their last series. It feels as if they've isolated what their weaknesses are at the start of the game.
All 3 strongholds right now being contested. That is so rarely seen. A team that has a trip cap going on, and I just see all 3 of them being converted back, and LethuL's going to be taking that grenade back over in the frags. Every single repulse there from Renegade, so well calculated.
Yeah, it's just these guys are exactly what we want in a lower bracket final, and this is what you're going to need if you want to try and take down Optic Gaming here. Pznguin's going to be on the A site now as Royal 2 pushes in. A very clean shot for him. Also isolates StelluR down by bottom yellow steps. Watch out for eco as well, but they are going to capture A and get control right back. So Sentinels have A and B control here. A good stop as well for Royal 2. He's been on a tear. 13 kills, 4 assists, 4 deaths. He's doing everything right at the start of this one, Walsh.
That was so smart and so well played by Royal 2, backing up into elevator, realizing he was going to meet some form of resistance over in the A stronghold. So why stand up in the stronghold and then potentially let a player from Cloud9 get the first shot. Instead, he just backs up in the corner. Renegade's looking for this player, not expecting someone to be hiding in back elevator. You're not hiding back in elevator generally when you're holding A. That's usually the spot you're trying to sneak over to.
Yeah, there was just a good heads-up play there for sure. Gets him a lot of points, 166-35. Now we're going to start to see this flip coming in here. B is going to go over to Cloud9, and they are able to secure themselves the camo. Remember, SnakeBite got that last time, and that kind of contributed to this big swing that they had. Of course, a few key plays. Let's not forget about that. But, you know, the power of these power items on display here. Whether or not, though, Sentinels can react from this and isolate this player and take him out. But they are, Cloud9, going to be earning points now. And I think this is why you're starting to see this more measured play. But wait a minute. Just as I say that, Frosty could have actually gotten the turn on there, but that's going to be a beautiful double for Renegade, and exactly what you want out of that active camo, getting great value out of that item.
And also, huge heads-up play there by Renegade to secure those kills first. Making sure he's not getting caught off guard. And look at that slate across the board there for Cloud9. All the other members of Cloud9 have 14 kills combined. Renegade putting up 15 by himself.
Yeah, and on the flip side to that, you know, Royal2 and Frosty, they were on a huge spree. Kind of cooled off, though, and I think, you know, it's partly because they haven't really been able to find much success in a nice remote detonation from downtown. That is going to be one that you feel in the morning for sure. A should be captured here for Sentinels. That's the only one that they're going to be able to get, but they are going to be working on B, and a huge win there, as a matter of fact, on B is going to contribute. Well, I was going to say contribute to them capping that, but it is going to be stopped courtesy of Eco. Gets Frosty over by the box, and they finally are going to be able to secure B. So now A-B control for Sentinels. They're going to continue on this lead, but a great comeback from Cloud9, getting a little bit closer in the scoreline.
Yeah, I mean, that trip cap is clearly what put Sentinels so far ahead. I mean, they're up by 75 to 90 points earlier, and now that's just diminished. You know, they still have a healthy lead, but that trip cap is everything to thank for it. And it happened so quickly. I remember looking at the timer, and I was like, how long has this game been going on for? And it was 2.5 minutes when we saw Sentinels at like the 1:30 mark.
Oh, did you see what happened there, Dave? They were losing A, and they figured the power item, getting active camo, is going to be more important. So they were actually waiting for it. They had a bait and a trap set up for the player to go grab the camo. Once they did that, they gave up no players, got camo, and now they're going to start to push forward toward A. And on top of that, they were able to secure I thought they were going to be able to secure camo, but I stand corrected here because Cloud9 gets possession of it. So it's like, again, just when you think Sentinels is a smart play, Cloud9's able to bounce right back, and they'll be able to get the power item and use this to their advantage as well. But Frosty in this fight, and a huge win, is going to take out Renegade at the steps. Now he's going to use that shock rifle to try and just get right back into this bring Sentinels into this game. BA control. So far, so good here for Sentinels, but Cloud9, don't count them out just yet.
Not at all. I mean, this game is so close, but we're going to see these next exchanges. That's all four down there for Sentinels. And Cloud9 know where these spawns are going. You see Renegade already looking towards long haul. Pznguin getting some sort of a double kill, getting a stick on LethuL, or stick on Royal2, who also killed LethuL. So this is also staggered spawns now. You had a double kill, but I like what Sentinels did. They slowed down for a moment. They realized that this is starting to spiral out of control. They need to have one good concentrated push. Get a stop on a stronghold. They secure C, and now they have to go for the decision. Are they going to push all the way from Catwalk to A, or are they going to make a bombardment over at the batteries?
Yeah, and it was just a smart play as well. I'm going to give credit to Cloud9 too, because even though Sentinels does secure C, they kind of let them have that because they realize that that's the only logical place that that team is going to spawn at. That being said, though, I don't think that they were prepared for the response from Sentinels as they're looking to capture A, and it is going to get capped. No flip, but Eco's there to back up his teammate, takes out Royal2. LethuL now going for a Herculean play over toward B, but he's playing around those batteries. He's getting pressured too. That's a reset coming through, and now you know exactly where those spawns are going to be coming out of. Long haul, C plat, maybe into the pit as well. And Cloud9, just as you say it, right? You cannot count them out. No way, shape, or form can you ever count this team out. Even when it seems like they're down at the start of the game, they'll find a way to come back into this one. And they're within striking distance of closing this out.
Yeah. Sentinels essentially have one more push here. And this is tough. Royal2 is supposed to be the tanker. Already down to one shot. LethuL taken out as well.
Make a play.
3 seconds left. Royal2, like I said, who was being the anchor, is now forced to jump into the batteries and try to keep his team in this. That's 3 members down for Cloud9. Clock stop medal unlocked here for Royal2, and this game is still continuing.
All right, well, we got to see where the other perspectives are here, because it seems like the push is going to be coming towards C, and that's why the response to just try and cap that back. But just as I say that, they get C, Cloud9. Sentinels are going to respond with A. They have a weakened player above here, Renegade, so he's going to need to wait this one out, go with a teammate. Frosty with a kill off screen against Eco. Look at that push happening over toward the left side of the map as well. Maybe just, oh, actually a more reserved play. They're going to go back and play this 2-cap advantage that they have. They have one guy located by A, right underneath A. And then on the response here, it's Renegade. Needed to make a big play here, but Royal2 is able to get the grenade, and this is actually becoming quite dangerous now. Huge slays coming in here. Pznguin with a kill against Frosty off screen, but is it going to be enough, though? Because it seems as if all the frags are going in SnakeBite and Sentinel's favor.
Those kills are so crucial. Cloud9 were hoping to take a slow, concentrated push, and now they have to make a panic charge to get one of these strongholds. They need to stop the clock, and they need to do it now. There it is. The push in towards B. That's Eco and Renegade, both going inside there, and here come the grenades and the push from Sentinels to try to tie it up. 248 to 249, Golden Boy, and they still got it stopped.
Oh my goodness, he couldn't get into C in time. No sliding for him was going to happen fast enough that he could fly into the C. Stronghold. That battle happened at B, and the player that, I mean, look, really when it boils down to it, every player on Cloud9 stepped up when they needed to. They were down by a considerable amount. They were trip cap at the beginning of the game, but a credit to Sentinels, because just as you think that game is going to be out of their hands, they managed to rally the troops, get right back into it, and it was 249 or 250, excuse me, to 247. You couldn't have asked for a closer start here, and I think this kind of goes back to what I was saying before, Dave, that Sentinels, it feels like they're finding their groove in this tournament, and what a time to find it here in the lower bracket final.
Yeah, I mean, they were looking so strong there, but also that's so deflating to get so close, to have that lead, and then for Cloud9 just to somehow be able to bring that back, it just shows why they are the #1 team in the world at this moment.
Yeah, well, that double kill from Renegade, man, that was the nail in the coffin for Sentinels. That happened off screen.
Yeah.
But once you saw those two names pop up and Renegade's name was the reason for that happening, it didn't matter what happened. They needed to take out this player here, and this was again just smart plays, right? You had SnakeBite flying in, the captain doing everything he can, but he ends up getting back-whacked by, I believe that was either StelluR or Pznguin. I couldn't tell because of the encoding on the screen, but either way, beautiful game from both squads. 250 to 248. You're right, Dave, a little deflating, but given how Cloud9 kind of had their way with Sentinels when they played against each other last, I think Sentinels is feeling pretty good about the progress that they've made, especially with the matches that they've had to overcome up until this point. But now we go to Live Fire StelluR. Let's see how this one plays out here, because Cloud9 on StelluR is just devilish.
Yes, they're scaring every game mode, that's for certain. One thing I have liked about this format, though, is it seems like we're still getting a good mix of all these maps. I thought I was not going to see much Bazaar going on throughout this tournament based on like the vetoes and bans, but teams are very welcoming to it, playing into their strengths, or realizing that they're really good on the Bazaar flag, like we saw Sentinels yesterday. But we are kicking this one right off immediately. We're jumping on board with LethuL, who's going to see what he can do for his team here, Sentinels, on Live Fire StelluR.
Trade on kills right out of the gate, although the sniper was obtained, and a few more kills starting to actually come into the favor of Sentinels in the early part of the game. But again, this is kind of just the jockeying for control situation that we have come to know and love in Halo. Power item's going to be available in a second here, and it is going to be grabbed and obtained. Overshield activated now for SnakeBite. And so far, so good. I think both teams are pretty satisfied with the starts, but if you're Sentinels, you're feeling a little bit better because you were able to get that overshield. You just got to see if you can take advantage of this power item, this crucial power item. And Frosty managed to get the sniper too. Don't forget, Cloud9 were able to get the sniper right out of the gate. They grabbed snipe, they went bottom cave, and it seems like they got deleted. Frosty was able to grab that weapon. So now things are going to slow down just a touch here as Frosty's looking to rip some heads with the snipe.
Also, it's so funny how much confidence Frosty has, or how different players play against Frosty when he has a sniper. When Frosty first got that pick over in open field, he was just looking for kills in bottom middle. He realized nobody else was going to willingly put themselves out near the power-up, out in the open field for a pick. So he was just leaving his full left side exposed, just knowing that players at this high level of play aren't going to put themselves in that position. And so he's starting to look immediately down towards like the tunnels and these different obscure angles to get picks. Whereas, you know, most people at home when they're playing their matchmaking games, there's going to be 1 or 2 other people flying around that corner over at the power-up.
Yeah, and you know, he has that confidence because he knows that like 9 times out of 10 he's going to hit that shot, right? He was you know, our Nissan MVP yesterday for that wild snipe that happened on this very map. So yeah, it's not a shocker. New overshield is going to become available. And it does seem as if Frosty's able to grab it. But I love this measured approach here. Oh, but the isolation coming in. They're going to try and just shut this one down. Frosty has to go in for the double kill. They have the green gun too, but it doesn't connect. And that double kill's huge there for Sentinels as they extend their lead 16-7 at the start. And again, I go back to what I was saying, man. Sentinels sounds like they found a new gear, and they're playing to the potential that we know that this team is always capable of playing.
Like that, just everything's going right for him. Not just the weapons, not just also the power-ups, also just the positioning. A player like Eco having to run underneath Frosty. Frosty can just shoot from above at the tower, get those picks at his leisure.
Oh, just the reaction to the calls there, the movement, dodging out of that, sees the player inside a cave too, tries to contribute as much as he can, has a teammate there for support, but Pznguin actually able to get the kill until SnakeBite cleans that one up. 23-12. Beautiful start here for Sentinels. Cloud9 looking for a response. Renegade with the sniper could very well be the answer that they were looking for here if they're not careful.
Like that, going for that first pick over near the shortcut, and look at this player get back down. Does not matter though, because he is not out, and Renegade peeling off Royal 2 space, making this still a 9-kill game, but still within reason. Look at that, just a quick repositioning. Every single time you think the sniper is looking over towards the power-up side, all of a sudden looking over towards green. And that's just a scary snipe to play against, knowing that they are going to get a kill, reposition, and put a threat somewhere else across the map.
Yeah, and then on top of that too, right, even a body shot against SnakeBite prevents him from being able to move effectively. So that kind of slows down whatever push is going to happen for Sentinels, and it just gives more agency for Renegade to do what he needs to do. And now, again, you know, find ourselves in a very similar situation to what we saw in that Strongholds game. Sentinels manages to wrestle a lead away from Cloud9, and then Cloud9's right back into this one. It was getting quite dangerous at one point, but it's a 5-kill game. And with this sniper, you got a few more potential kills here if Renegade has his way with it.
GB, keep in mind that these have been unanswered kills here from Cloud9. At one point, it was 24-15 in favor of Sentinels. So throughout those exchanges, Cloud9, they were able to get back, what was it, 6 kills there? With only dropping 1 kill. A lot of times in order to get a run like that, in order to get 5-7 kills on the board, you're going to have to sacrifice a couple lives. But Renegade and Squad being able to get those kills, stay alive, and keep their position.
The most important thing there, right? It's the staying alive part. You know, I know it sounds really obvious, you know, John Madden-esque, if you will, but it's just so important to not only stay alive, but then also to play your life effectively, right? Contributing as much as you can, putting shots forward where you need to, being, you know, a presence on the map that your team needs you to be. And all 8 of these players do that so well. And that's the reason why you're seeing this game as close as it is. But with that lead, right, just, again, Sentinels were in a position where it looked like they were going to start giving up even more kills to Cloud9. Cloud9, though, they lost that sniper rifle. They lost that strong power weapon that gave them that lead, or not gave it to them, but really put them closer to it. And Sentinels can play off of that. But now with this next wave of power items coming up, sniper rifle up top, as well as the overshield, we're going to see what the response here is, because going after both items is going to be very challenging, and you know that you want to keep that sniper rifle away from the hands of Renegade, given what he did just a little while ago.
Yeah, at this point in time, I feel like Sentinels could almost guarantee victory on this map in game mode if they just get that sniper off the map.
Yeah.
Clearly, if Sentinels grab the sniper, I'm not saying that they have to toss it off immediately or anything like that. They're a smart enough team, strong enough team that they can probably just use up most of the ammo on its own. However, I always am a big proponent if one team is pretty far ahead, get those power-ups and power weapons off the map. That's the best way or only way the opposing team is going to make a big comeback.
Frosty's looking for an opening. Game has slowed down a lot. All 4 players are going to be in the open field on the right side of the map. Over toward Overshield. 38-29. They're looking for them, and oh, Frosty found him, as well as World 2. Actually, Frosty can't really help out World 2, so he's just going to try and preserve that sniper, but instead, Renegade's going to wipe him out.
We're going to have to see if that comes into play, as I was highlighting, saying, all right, Cloud9, they're down by 9, but they now have a sniper in their hands. Is this going to be the difference maker? Last time they were down by 10 kills, they got sniper in their hands, and they closed that gap. Can they do it 2 times in a row?
It seems like history might repeat itself here, because even with the sniper not being a factor right now at this very moment, you still have members of Cloud9 using that to their advantage, and Renegade with another shot right to the head. He's been clinical with that sniper rifle all day. SnakeBite and Frosty are going to be pushing inside of the big garage door now. Here comes the pressure as Renegade playing around the corner. Royal 2 read that one very well, is able to wipe him out. That'll go ahead and give them a triple kill, as a matter of fact, for Royal 2. Let's not forget about that as well. 5-kill lead here, separating these 2 teams. Pznguin, though, is going to bring that one into a 4-kill lead. Frosty caught out in the middle of no man's land. SnakeBite's going to have to back up his comrade, and the backup's coming in. A little isolated, a little split up, but they're looking for the opening. StelluR actually might be running into, well, I should say StelluR as well as Eco couldn't be running into some members of Sentinels. That's exactly what happens. He's going to go right back into the garage here. Scoreboard playing around it. Play this advantage now, because you got the overshield. Do what you can with it. Get yourself back into this game. That overshield could be huge for them, but a huge kill for Frosty is going to make this 45-39. Around the corner comes Royal 2 with the headshot to connect with that as well. And now Sentinels, they're very much in this and could win it.
Yeah, that overshield was not enough to turn it around. Clearly also that sniper control was not enough for Cloud9 to bring it fully back. Now we're going to see Royal 2 be able to use up these last couple bullets, whether it's successful or not. We're not going to see any more of this sniper rifle in the hands of Cloud9.
Taking that gun away from them. There's only one more bullet left in it. And you can see that new sniper is going to be coming up in a moment here. 5 seconds. Here comes the push, though. Pznguin's going to get met by a heat wave right at the front door. New sniper's going to be available. Eco does pick up the kill, though, as we switch on over to his perspective. 3 members going to be located inside of the garage. Frosty challenging by scoreboard. SnakeBite, I think, maybe grabbed that sniper and ran away with it. Smart play there. It is now a 3-kill game, and yes, it is going to be SnakeBite with the snipe on top of tower, dropping it for his teammate, recognizing that his presence is needed over in the front lines here, while Frosty is going to look to rip some heads with this gun.
Yeah, I mean, when you have someone like Renegade or Frosty on your team, they're just on a whole different level. Every single player in this lobby can snipe, and they can pull off those ridiculous no-scopes and sick plays. But Frosty and Renegade just do it more consistently.
Yeah, and if you have someone who does it at that consistent rate, you got to give that weapon to them. You know, the game is essentially going to be in their hands. 2-kill game now. Huge connection there. Is going to give him number 49 for Frosty. Looking for another one as well. And Eco's lined it up, but it does not nail the shot. You heard some activity down low as well over toward the mud. He's going to dip on out of there, but he might be running to another member here of Cloud9. 49-47. Doesn't get much closer than this, folks. Oh, I like this. He's playing a cheeky angle down mid. Doesn't really want to reveal his position. Could maybe use this if a player tries to peek around the corner. Repositioning. StelluR's located in the back river, that mud area. Does find him here. Goes for the shot, but does not connect with it. 49-48. And gets him right in the mid. And it's going to be a shot to the back, like a dagger to the back. And Sentinels are going to be able to get game number 2. We're tied up 1-1 in this series.
We are in for such a close series. Look at those score lines, GB. 250 to 248. You now have a 50 to 48 in a Slayer with so many back and forths. These teams are so evenly matched right now.
Yeah, you know, and not only that, though, if you are a Sentinels fan, you're I wouldn't say disappointed, but you're definitely like, oh man, that was a lot closer than and it should have been, because Sentinels were running away with the game at one point. But you know, just Cloud9, they have this tendency to be able to find ways to come back in, and it was off the back of Renegade with that sniper rifle. He was putting that weapon to use, and that just contributed to them coming back into this what was once I think like a 10 kill game, you know, slowly faded away, and it got down to a 2 kill differential between two teams, and almost, I don't want to say a desperate, you know, snipe, desperate last minute play, but hey, right, Sentinels could have very well given that one away had it not had Frosty not had that sniper in his hand.
Yeah, 2 separate times we had Sentinels up by 10 kills, and I feel like both of those different times, you saw how Cloud9 were able to bring it back once they had the weapons in their hand. It's really tough because it's not just the sniper picking up those kills. It's not like, oh, they have 5 volts in sniper, they can get up to 5 kills. It's how different the entire other team has to play when that power weapon in the hands of someone like Frosty or Renegade. The other team cannot go on sight lanes they would normally go through. It's tougher to know when you can poke out and charge as a team, because nobody wants to poke their head out, go down for, you know, be the first one down, and then be outnumbered for the rest of your team.
Yeah, you have to put respect on those players, especially when they're hot like that, because I felt like Frosty and Renegade, no matter who had the snipe, they were placing shots exactly where they needed to go. So again, that was a beautiful game, really a game about, you know, how the power weapons and the power items in Halo just tell the story, you know, of the match. And now we're going to be moving on here to game 3, the veto coming up in a moment. So you know that Cloud9 wants to get the run back against Optic, but for Sentinels, it'll be a big you know, opportunity and a huge vote of confidence for them, or a confidence boost rather, going into Kansas City to beat Cloud9 in this tournament when stakes are on the line.
Yeah, I feel like what I expect out of this tournament is it's going to be probably fairly similar results to Kansas City. The teams that we see here in the top 4 and the top 3 are likely going to be our top 3 in Kansas City. Yes, land plays different. Yes, teams are going to have different plays out there. However, overall, I feel like it's fairly consistent. And look at that start. 3 members of Sentinels go down. That's going to be LethuL, the only one remaining for defense here on the Sentinels roster. And they're coming in for this flag right away. We're not even 30 seconds into this match yet, GB.
Yeah, they're giving them no room to breathe. They know exactly where the spawns are going to be popping up as well. But I don't know if you saw too, like right where Renegade was inside of BR, they also had a player inside of Palm just putting, you know, some shots forward toward the guys who were spawning toward the AR. It was the perfect collapse. Everything you could possibly ask for. But the spawns, though, because they were so far up, the spawns happened over in the shotgun cave, like way down low in the alley. And they have an opportunity now to try and stop this here. And it seems like they are going to be able to do so. So despite the brilliant start from Cloud9, that's just the name of the game in Bazaar, man. When you think you got that advantage, sometimes you get a little too overzealous, and then the spawns pop up behind you, and then everything goes to crap.
Yeah, that's always tough. Like I said, you're right. It's that balance of getting into the flag and seeing first if you stop them from spawning on their back flag, namely near like that thrust. Once you have that blocked, then it's alley/shotgun. That's where you really have to be worried about. And so that last one, it was kind of a split. Yeah. And truthfully, a split spawn is what you want when you're the defending team. You don't want to all be cornered into one area. Ideally, you have a couple of you somewhere and you don't need to flank out to somewhere else. You always want a secondary angle when you're on the defense.
Yeah, getting that will be crucial for you to make the return happen, and that's the reason why we're still sitting at 0-0. But despite that, Cloud9 continuing to aggress, be in the face of Sentinels. Sentinels needing to play off the back foot each and every time. LethuL trying to go for a sneaky play around pillars, but doesn't find much success over there besides 1 kill. But Eco cleans him up instantaneously. Their push continues now. Another overshield grab, but this time around, I don't think anyone's going to be there for a back whack to take this overshield away from Renegade. So you should be pretty good with that. And here comes another push. More kills going in the favor of Cloud9. They've isolated a few more players. LethuL down low by just the movement that we're seeing here.
Wow.
The double doors play, like really nothing was working out for them. And this is going to be Cloud9 full strength inside of the Sentinels base now, making this flag run happen. What can Sentinels do to try and stop this?
And watch the difference this time. This time they have all of Sentinels spawning together over near shotguns. They're not getting those same sort of split spawns. They do have royalty near the front door, so that's a helpful second angle. But they don't really have the spread across the map that they need. That's 2 down here for Sentinels. And look at that desperate play. You see LethuL trying to get those kills in the market near the flag, but that flag is going to be making its way through double doors very soon.
Yeah, it does not seem like anyone from Sentinels are going to be there to try and receive flag carrier and to stop that one from happening. A killing spree happening as well. So this is basically a just very by the book capture here for Cloud9 as they are going to go up 1-0 on Bazaar CTF. It took a lot of work to get there, but they had the right idea and they were able to catch them off of respawns over and over and over again. Rockets have been obtained as well by Renegade. It's going to use both of them. Gets 1 kill against World 2. Finally is going to be cleaned up though by SnakeBite here, and just the pressure that we're starting to see from Cloud9 again. They just captured a flag, but they're right in their face. And Sentinels, they have to match that speed with speed of their own, and it seems like they're doing that as they manage to get 2 down on C9 side.
They're doing it, but it ends up being a numbers game when it comes to how much this team is outslaying at the moment. I mean, it's out by what, 15 slays? Cloud9 has 15 more kills than Sentinels at this point in the game, and so at some point we're getting outslayed 2-1, you know, 1.5 to 1. There's really not much you can do, especially on Bazaar. Because Bazaar, you need those kills to move across the map. It's pretty infrequent that somebody can get that long flank through alley and slip by and have it be successful, because you need, you're leaving team outs to dry if that's the case.
Oh, SnakeBite's on the run with the overshield and the flag. He's got this one straight across to the other side of the map here, and he is going to be waiting for some of these players from Cloud9 to jump up and try and challenge him. That flag is away, right in front of him. It's Frosty looking for a shot against Eco, does not land it, but hey, the dynamo grenade is going to do the business there, and a recov happening for C9. They're going to bring that flag right back to their base, excuse me. But it seems like they had the right idea, Sentinels. They use the overshield and the extra bonus that you get with the health to try and bring that flag across. Unfortunately for them, you know, they just got honestly pounced on as soon as they turned the corner in alley. That did not work out for them the way they hoped that it would have. And here comes Cloud9 yet again, right inside of their BR, giving them no room to breathe.
Look at these top pros. They always do a great job if they have the opportunity to trade out that melee. Not every single time is that going to be taken advantage of, but StelluR had to play that differently because that melee trade came out. StelluR would have instead pushed over near flag bridge, or would have poked out. Instead, had to take a slower route over near tree. But these players are always going to find those different angles, forcing players to come out in those close range quarter combats when there are no shields.
And this was a different flag run than what we saw before, because I think, you know, previously Sentinels were in positions and they were able, there was only one guy that spawned in the back. So they took out that player and then they started to work on getting control of the mid, Sentinels did. And it worked very well for them because they did not have that player in the back kind of anchoring those spawns. They were right in front waiting for that flag to come out of palm. So they were able to stop that and then start maybe a flag run of their own. It just did not work out in their favor. LethuL, though, does grab the overshield. 3 players down now for Cloud9. Let's see if Sentinels can make this flag move away from the base of Cloud9. Bring this one to a 1-1 game here because the clock is ticking, Dave. It's getting close.
Yeah, the clock is ticking. However, we have to see what ended up happening with those rockets. I didn't really see them too far on the map. I would guess they're gone at this point based on all the slays we're seeing traded back and forth. But yeah, Sentinels actually needs another full round of slays, and they need to get control of tree or the bar. So until they do that, and instead it looks like they opt to go right down the center of double doors. This is an orthodox. Generally, they want to have that upper location, that upper hand spot to push in from, and instead they do kind of a backdoor route over towards the tree.
Smart play. The bait and switch I thought was actually going to come up, but never mind, does not. Frosty gets taken out. This is going to leave only World 2 to have to fend off this attack. He bails out of this one. SnakeBite's done as well. So they're playing this one slowly here.
I like
have
that
no
bait
choice.
and switch. The bait and switch is always a great play here. Unfortunately, I get a lot of teammates in matchmaking that only do the first part of that play. I don't really see the switch part of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's always been a little rough from my experiences when I've been playing recently.
Yeah, no, the guy's like, hey, ready for the bait and switch? Yeah, sure,
Go
go ahead,
switch
bud.
part? Like, wait, what? There's a second part to this
Oh, no,
play?
there's no switch, not for me.
No, we're just doing the bait. Let's keep it going.
Speaking of bait, you also might be seeing these players try and use this overshield, right, for bait. Coming up in a few seconds. And in the last few exchanges, Sentinels have found themselves the overshield. They didn't really make much use of it. SnakeBite got the flag, brought across map. LethuL picked up the overshield as well. But they are winning out these slays. So what was starting out before is kind of a very slay-heavy game for Cloud9. Sentinels have answered that back. And now Frosty with this overshield is going to be a problem. They got to remove this from him. Remove the shield from the equation and try and see if they can stop this man. And StelluR does so, but my goodness, Frosty was just putting together a light show over there. That was beautiful to watch. Palm control for Sentinels.
They have the numbers on the flag, but somehow Eco has an angle there. Look at this. Eco at the front jump. And what feels like a dominating position here for Sentinels doesn't feel like it's translating into some sort of flag grab or the control. It feels like these members of Cloud9 are able to slip by a little bit. But looks like LethuL and the Sentinel crew are able to sniff out those kills, push this flag across. They're going across the top market. Looks like that was just a missed toss. And now they're going for the double door. This could be the tie flag.
Yep, this could very well be it as the flag marches forward. SnakeBite has it. Eco does get two, so you got to watch out for the, for the potential cap here or the aggressive play from Cloud9 to try and force them in a position to get the second cap here. But no, we're going to be tied up 1-1. And they'll get a little bit of, I was going to say moments to breathe, but against Cloud9, that does not really happen all that much. So they're playing off a defense. Look at this here. LethuL, he's by himself. He's looking for where these Cloud9 players could be coming from. Does spot one in mid. He's waiting this one out. Oh, there he is right there. But the green gun's going to give him everything he needs. A little bit of the boost and that melee.
Yeah, great play by LethuL there. He did two great details that I saw during that exchange. Was one, did not charge up the green gun immediately to give away his position because these players are going to hear those song cues, and was looking around close range quarter combat, like seeing if somebody's flying right through the double doors or seeing if someone's coming around the corner at tree so that he could get a two-shot melee trade. He was not looking for any sort of long-range or mid-range battle because these members of Cloud9 are going to get help too fast.
Frosty is so disgusting. Picks up a player at truck and then swoops on in with the grapple shot. This is actually looking like another potential pull here for Sentinels at the rate that they're going at. They have C9 pinned in the back of the base. Eco's able to get a kill. StelluR playing his life over at that pillar. And I thought that Sentinels were feeling themselves, but then Cloud9 with the defensive response manages to hold on. And we're back and forth with 1:30 left on the clock here. And look at this sneaky play from Royal 2.
Look at that timing. He's on a secret agent mission behind in the vents. Royal 2 looking a little sus over on the Cloud9 side of the map. And look at that behind enemy lines. If he gets this kill, he can start to pull that flag. But he's at least being a nuisance here. These Cloud9 members are looking for him. And now he's finally sniffed out.
Yeah, and Royal 2's presence actually draws a few BRs to focus on him, but I don't know if, that plan's necessarily going to work out because 3 players are going to be down for Sentinels here. LethuL does pick up a double, might be able to stop the flag carrier here because StelluR is dangerously low, but he is going to recharge his shield, and there you have it, 2-1. Cloud9 take the lead with less than a minute left on the clock.
This one's going to be tough because Sentinels essentially have 1 or 2 push opportunities, but Cloud9, they know if they get a kill or 2, they can just push on out, trade slay for slay, and run the clock out.
Oh, and a big win there for Pznguin. Takes out LethuL. A trade as well does not bode well for Sentinels. More kills coming in. You got 2 players, though, for Sen inside of the base. He goes all the way in the back. No choice. They had to make the play. He had to pull that flag out because you only have 10 seconds remaining. Maybe you can force that sudden death to get that flag across. But there's just no one around to try and receive that flag. 3 seconds remaining here. Cloud9 at the final minute managed to get a second flag cap, and they're going to go up 2-1 in this series, winning 2-1 in Bazaar CTF. What a game that was between these 2 teams.
it's just so back and forth. I mean, I thought we were going to go into overtime for sure after we saw Sentinels tie that up. And then secondly, with that flank that Royal2 had, I'm surprised that didn't translate to more kills, and I'm surprised Cloud9 had the foresight to be able to still grab the Sentinel flag while they had Royal2 behind them.
Yeah. And Royal2 being there, that was the right play, right? Like, you know, he's doing everything he can. He's trying to pull attention over in his direction. It's just, you know, the way that Cloud9 responds to that, they managed to pick off Royal2. They're prepared. It's like almost as if the timing was perfect on the elimination of Royal2, and then from there they were bringing that flag. They were already, as soon as Royal2 died, they were already marching the flag past tree at that point. So the response needed to be fast, and it needed to be aggressive from Sentinels. Unfortunately for them, they were not able to find it, but fortunate for Cloud9, because everything that you could possibly want to go right in that situation went right. This play here from Frosty was beautiful, man. Gets the kill against Eco, drops low, another grapple shot, and then he goes right into this fight here at Library and just whacks him. But again, Cloud9, brilliantly done. What a brilliant series we're seeing here. 2-1. Honestly, at this point, it can go either way, because I feel like we're seeing a new version of Sentinels happening before our eyes in this lower bracket final.
We are going to Oddball on Recharge. This will be interesting, because I feel like when we saw, Sentinels play this one last against FaZe, they looked really strong.
Yeah, they really did. This was actually the game 4 that had the unfortunate reset, if I'm correct, right? But they you know, Sentinels were able to win the games when they needed to, and you know, maybe they could ride that same momentum. I think this also was the one where LethuL was just going off. So if you get another performance from LethuL like that again, coupled with how Frosty and Royal2 have been playing this entire series, you're in for a banger here. And LethuL already out of the gate starting with 2 frags, so that's a good thing to see here. And he's actually going to keep this one going. That's going to be his third. Looking for another one down low, but Pznguin's going to stop the good times from rolling.
Up rolling they are. This is going to now be a slay for slay style position here, as this ball is over in pipes. And this is one of those times here where StelluR has a few options. He feels like he could rotate it on over towards Turbine and A if they get the slays needed. Otherwise, going to run that on over towards Glass and Long Haul if one of the sides gets cleared out. So that's one of the benefits of pipe side, is if you have the center of the map controlled, you can decide to push over through one of those long sides and get a long rotation where nobody's gonna really be able to stop you. And look at this, all that time being scooped up. StelluR opts to go through Long Haul and through Glass, as I talked about, as all that pressure was coming on over from Turbine.
Yeah, and that sword now is actually going to put the fear of God of a few of these players, but 2 players actually for Sentinels are able to wipe out 2 members of Cloud9, try and force that ball into a play ball, and they're going to give up the sword as well. So it was looking like a great play for them. Unfortunately, Cloud9 give up the ball, give up the sword, and now it's going to be Sentinels' time to strike here. And they have this sword up on top elevator, which is a great position to have in case anyone tries to challenge over on the, you know, by this catwalk here.
Yeah, taking over elevator is difficult enough just through that choke point, grenades, getting shot going through catwalk. But add a sword into the mix is even more difficult. And Pznguin gonna get that vulture, essentially killing that sword player as they're lunging across the map. And that might be the opening that Cloud9 need to push across the map.
Not gonna lie, I think that sword might be cursed, Dave. You know, it doesn't really seem like it's benefiting anyone so far. I don't think I've seen any kills with it. We have to find out if it's cursed next time on Mythbusters. Anyway.
Yeah, we're gonna, well, let's actually go back to the sword when we get a chance here soon, because I don't want to put any of that bad juju on anyone, but this is a great time to educate people, Alex, on cursed weapons. Now, many of you might not be superstitious out there or religious, but cursed weapons are real. I've checked with the 343 engineers, and like, yes, it's real. We don't even know. It's not even put in our code, but there are times where power weapons are cursed and you cannot get a kill with them. And in addition to not being able to get a kill with them, you will die with them. You are guaranteed to die.
Yeah, it's almost as if, like, you know, it's just meant to be. It's something we don't have control. Sometimes it just happens that way, you know? Sometimes just you think that the sword's gonna, you know, be great for you, and then you end up going for a slice and you die to a vulture. You know what I'm saying? It sucks, but it is what it is. What doesn't suck here is how Cloud9 have been able to get this lead and hold on to this ball over on the elevator side now. The swoop coming in is Frosty's gonna fly through. inside of Whirlpool. Does identify that there's going to be 2 players, one located by elevator, and actually Eco just bails. He does not want to have anything to do with that fight. And that's just a great heads up play. But what isn't cursed is that shock rifle in the hands of Royal 2. He gets on a spree with it. That will be very, very dangerous.
Looking for just those opportunities to poke out. Gets that first pick on Eco. Just laying down that damage, knowing that there's someone one shot in there, but somehow lays the nade down, and then decides to pass the ball on over to Frosty. So you know things are going well with your team, and you know you have a lot of control when you have someone like It's So Frosty holding the ball over in Turbine.
Camo has been picked up, I want to say, by Renegade, and Royal 2 with another one. Killing spree, a perfect shot onto StelluR, unsuspecting as he came through the doorway on catwalk. And now Sentinels have the lead. Look at the angle. That was real sneaky, holding on to that one, waiting for that player to try and push. Eco gets zapped there by the shock rifle. He knows that there's going to be a player by Hydro as well. They're going to try and rack up this time. They have to find an area to fight out of because they saw that the sword was going to get picked up, and then that push was going to come through. 3 players down for Sentinels as now Cloud9 is going to add to this scoreboard.
Yeah, this is now going to be Cloud9 control. They're going to have to see how they can answer back and put some more points on the board as we essentially have a tie game. One thing I really liked about Royal 2 in that last period where he was up towards top control is he checked in control, saw nobody was coming, and realized he had 3 to 4 seconds before anyone would be a threat, and then pokes around the corner with his teammate, realizing, all right, this is too good to be true. There's going to be somebody coming over here in bottom control. Let's set the pace of this fight and surprise them.
Yeah, the micro details are always going to be important at the pro level here. But now you got to start thinking bigger picture because you're about to give up this round if you're Sentinels. And the sword's around the corner. And unfortunate for them, for Sentinels, that it happened that way. But with only a few seconds remaining, the sword's still very much in play. And
this one's a bit opposite, though, GB. This one's an Easter blessed sword. You're just seeing every single one hit there.
And Cloud9 gets the first round there. And that was just a hard play for Sentinels to try and break through because that sword watching the long haul entryway right by C Plat, there's just not much you could do. Sword is so strong in Halo Infinite. I mean, strong in every Halo, but in Infinite, it's quite powerful. So yeah, that was a great start for Cloud9 as they put one on the board for them. Sentinels now going to be in a difficult situation. They need to win this one out. If Cloud9 wins, they're basically going to be on match point with the way things are shaking up here.
And I'm getting someone in my ear from production saying to correct Alex for a moment. Sword was not great in Halo 3. All right, just had to get that out to everybody out there in the chat. Sword,
okay,
not
all right,
great
sword,
in Halo 3.
Sword, not great in Halo 3. I mean, you know, it's yeah, you're right. There's no Halo 2 sword. When you compare it to Halo 2, you know, I mean, you basically be cross-mapping and homies going from top snipe tower to top BR on lockout. Just seemed ridiculous. But yes, you were right. Halo 3 sword was pretty meh.
Like I said, I didn't want to do it, but I had production right here. I have to appease the crew. Yeah, production said, hey, we can't have this liability of Alex Golden Boy Mendez spreading disinformation here on our channel. So
there can't be no fake news on this broadcast, you know?
No.
No one's been able to grab the ball quite yet, as it's still going to be sitting right for the picking, right by the batteries.
Now we have a lot of people in the chat being like, all right, this is how my games normally go in matchmaking. Nobody grabbing the ball, everyone running around, getting the slays on the map, 0 time on the board. This is what people are used to seeing when they play some Halo Infinite matchmaking.
And look at the use that he's getting out of that shock rifle. Royal 2 putting shots all over the place, helping SnakeBite out in a fight that happened toward elevator. A weakened player on batteries, and just the lineup. You can see how devious he looks as well when he's got that weapon and he just stands still and he waits for the prime time to press right trigger to pull that shot away. Oh man, beautiful to see. But Pznguin, a beautiful double kill of his own, looking for a triple if he could find it. But LethuL's not going to give it to him. Instead, he's just going to grab the ball, play the objective, and try and win this game outright.
Also, such perfect position there from Pznguin, realizing that he had the jump on SnakeBite and not going in for that melee trade and trading kills. You'll notice at this high level of play, these top pros, they'll know the times that they should be trading out those melees and slays, and times that they can just take a step back and go with the 1-for-0.
Look at this, real clever. Camo play in the corner. Actually, Camo didn't even really play much of a factor. It was the grenade and the BR shot from Eco. Wiped him away. 28-13. The clock is ticking. Sentinels have to find an opening to get this ball back into their hands. But the commando shots are true there for Renegade as he takes out SnakeBite. But 2 kills actually make that 3. 3 members of Cloud9 are going to go down. And we had a ball reset. This is going to be Sentinels' time to strike here. If they find that opportunity, they will go for it. But Cloud9 ain't going to give it without a fight.
And Frosty's just trying to find what route he can take, and this is tough. Do you go through this close range quarter area through the pipes and potentially run to a grenade? But looks like LethuL and Frosty successfully pushing the pipes. That's going to be all 4 down for Cloud9. Less fewer Sentinels decide to set up with this oddball. All right, they decide to set up in pipes. Now, like we had seen before, Sentinels had the option to either push this ball all the way towards long haul or push it through turbine over towards A elevator, depending on which side is clear.
That was also such a great heads-up play by Frosty. He had a teammate that would have taken out the player that had challenged on top of Attic. And it just, you know, again, the way that you have to trust one another, he knew that that angle was going to be very awkward for him to play with. So he decided to just bow out of that, let his teammates do most of the work there. And even while all that was going on, right, they were able to bring this game right back. Only 1 point is going to separate Cloud9 and Sentinels, but that camo pickup could be a problem. Sentinels aren't careful, and they know that they lost that out, so they have to be on the lookout for it.
Indeed, and here comes the push here from Cloud9 over on pipes, also fights over on catwalks. All these players up high on the map, and pick after pick, Sentinels falling down, 3 members down, 1 over in control, LethuL. You know that they're going to be hunting that, and that's going to be Renegade getting that pick. So, looks like with that camo, Cloud9 did just a great job finding where all these players from Sentinels were, picking off kill by kill, and not letting this game spiral out in this round number 2.
Yeah, and the camo really was I don't want to say it was like the biggest difference maker in the world, but it did play its role, right? Royal 2 got that kill, and he stayed alive. He was waiting for the recharge. He had no idea that the camo player was right behind him. So just, again, right, these 2 teams are so evenly matched, neck and neck at this point. Oh, bye-bye. The repulsor right out of the map. Good try there, StelluR.
So that was a skeet shoot right there.
Yep,
essentially just said launch, and then just picking off StelluR as he's flying across the map.
2 players down for Cloud9. Ball's going to be available inside of the pit. Teammates 4C9 spawning inside of yellow as well as long haul. And the ball will be brought over toward elevator. Sure, SnakeBite's going to grab that one and add some more points there. And the sword is going to just patrol down low right by the Mangler.
I like this play. However, at some point, you have to figure out if you can commit. There's 2 different ways to play with that sword. You either be aggressive and catch people off guard, or wait around that corner. Seems like Royal 2 found this opportunity to go out, decides to even just bust out the BR to get that final kill. But that's going to be a trade. 2 kills right there for Royal 2, and that should be the damage needed. You should be able to get more points on the board here for Sentinels. Looks like that camo's going to get burned and traded out. That's going to be StelluR. Oh, no!
Oh, no!
That last shot did not get off. StelluR getting away with that camo is tragic there for Sentinels. This now could flip. This is going to be a setup here for Cloud9 shortly.
Yeah, that was a rare miss there from Frosty, man. It's not something you see every day, but here comes the camo. Double kill for StelluR. He knows that 1 more player could be located inside of the whirlpool, and it's Frosty out for revenge, but he's not going to get it because Pznguin is going to take him out. No opportunity for SnakeBite 2 as he was kind of trapped between a rock and a hard place as StelluR dips right back in. And that camo, that one play, that one moment, had he gotten the kill, Frosty, there was no shot that double kill was happening. Maybe you lose 1 player there if you're Sentinels. Maybe Cloud9 gets it back, but just, again, it really is just one thing begets another in Halo, and that was a bit of a heartbreaker. But Sentinels have managed to get that ball back, but it's fleeting. They're just trying to scramble away with it and put the ball in a position that it's not going to be easy for C9 to grab it because they do have that lead, and there's only going to be a few seconds left on the clock here, so Cloud9 need to grab the ball, and they need to grab it right now.
They do need to grab it soon, and Sentinels literally have 0 incentive to grab this ball. The game will end faster if they do not pick it up and let the time run out. And so they wisely are just getting slays, killing all these members of Cloud9 to pad those stats and winning round number 2.
And man, that was rough too, because StelluR with that double kill, like, actually opened up so much of the map for them but a great response from Sentinels, realizing you got the lead. There's not much really you have to do here. Now we're tied up 1-1, but another camo is going to go to Sentinels, I believe, or sorry, to Cloud9, unless they did manage to take out the player low, but they have been giving up those camos quite a bit, which is something you don't want to see happen. But there goes TJ Campbell, LethuL, with some beautiful shots. Trying to shut
grabbing
the
the kills, grabbing the ball, grabbing the shock rifle, gonna grab some more frag grenades, just doing a little bit of everything right here.
And that's typically what LethuL does, man. He does a little bit of everything. Whether you love him or you hate him, you gotta respect him. And that ball away. You find the shots with the shock rifle, and it says it's going to be an assist for SnakeBite. 2 players actually taken out now. Ball's available at C plat. Eco looking for an opening as he catches SnakeBite with his pants down. Frosty knows that he has that angle advantage, so he's not really going to go for the challenge, but a beautiful jump up top might actually put Frosty in a bit of a pickle here. But 2 more members of Sentinels are there to meet him at the door. Eco does manage to get the mark there against LethuL. Ball's going to be down at the mid bridge, and more Cloud9 members are going to start to fold in.
God, look at those nade reads too. Realizing that Eco's there over at Whirlpool, and then just knowing exactly where to throw a grenade, knowing that that player is just looking towards bottom control from that side. So these players have just perfected this game and know the tendencies and nuanced differences of what their opponents are going to do, even without directly seeing where they're at.
4 players were down for Cloud9. Points were getting scored for Sentinels. And then, just like that, snap of the fingers, Cloud9 respond. They get a double of their own, and they start to push forward here. The sword from Frosty gets 1 kill, but it's not much of a factor beyond that. Cloud9 with this ball now. They're going to look to try and bring this game right back in if they can. 43-14 and counting for C9 here.
All these members of C9 are dropping right here. StelluR fighting a separate battle over in pipes. Luckily, Renegade's able to close that gap over near the Needler. But right now, they're just buying time. StelluR now drops. They're waiting for the teammates Eco and Pznguin to give the reinforcements, and it looks like they spawned, and now they have the help, but it might be too little too late as Renegade also falls. This should be some time on the board here for Sentinels very soon. They're not going to rush to put that time on the board, though. They want to make sure they have all these angles covered. One thing that Cloud9 does so well is they can sprint and take advantage of those small little gaps when you're not watching every angle.
Whew, that was unfortunate. I would have been really bad there. And there goes another sword kill for SnakeBite. I was going to say, it looked like it could have been bad because SnakeBite did miss that first hit with the sword, the first swipe, rather. He's managed to put 3 kills together here and damage onto Eco to boot. But they are still going to be able to get this ball. Triple kill for Eco. Despite 2 players being down, that ball's going to be grabbed and brought to his teammates. And look at that repulsor play, too, because he wanted to get back for the fight. Killing spree for Eco, and he brings the ball to his teammates over towards C-Plat. That was just a huge play. Love that.
Just doing absolutely everything, doing the objective, killing literally all 4 members of Sentinels to help get that set up across the map. So what an incredible series event there from Eco to put Cloud9 in the perfect position to try to tie this game up.
And that was hot off of the heels of a great SnakeBite play with the camo and sword. They're right back into this one. The ball's going to be grabbed, and well, might actually be a bad situation here for Cloud9 because they did lose out on 2 players. But that ball being right where it is, kind of in a really difficult position, right? Because you're going to go for it, you're going to get naded out, you're going to get shot. They had no idea that SnakeBite was going to be popping up behind him here, and he grabs that ball and adds a little bit more time here. I'm going to bring it over to the elevator side as well, because that's where 2 members of Cloud9, or excuse me, of Sentinels, are going to be located.
Yeah, what looked like was going to be a good setup for Cloud9, they just fell one after the other, and StelluR was in that weird position over at stairs, realizing, all right, do I sprint over and toss this ball to the bottom center, or try to scrap up a kill somewhere on the map? But looks like kills continuing to go in the favor of Sentinels while they put time on this board. This was going to be tough for Cloud9 to bring back.
Another big camo play, though, for Eco. Gives them 2 kills, and they get ball presence again. No opportunity for LethuL to try and strike, but the push actually coming in here. You're on the POV of SnakeBite. Eco's going to be over by Bat Ledge. Balls up for grabs. Royal 2 and Frosty trying to get in their face, but they manage to hold them off now, and they'll add a little bit more time, a little bit more score, rather. Get that much closer to Sentinels. What a game this has been, man, and that shot was nasty.
Yeah, Eco even just hunting down that 1v1, realizing that he's absolutely on fire and going to take those odds if he is playing that well. So keeping those spawns staggered there for Sentinels, and there goes 2 more members. StelluR getting the shock. Rifle kills on LethuL and SnakeBite. This is now a lead here for Cloud9 from being down 30 points.
Goes to show you Oddball could swing just like that. That ball's up for grabs over in the long haul. No real opportunity there for Royal 2 to be able to grab it as he brings this one across. Frosty now has to make the hero play. Does actually manage to take out Renegade, and he is going to be surrounded, StelluR. So that's why he dips out, and the ball's grabbed again. So we're right back where we started here. Where are the rest of the members of Cloud9? They're going to be located over toward the elevator side. Camo's going to be up again, and I mean, honestly, Sentinels cannot give up this camo. No shot, because Cloud9 have put that camo to use each and every time, but also Cloud9 need to make a decision. They have to challenge for the ball right now, so they're going to go for the ball, and they're going to try and see if they can force a bad situation here. Scrapping up a little bit more time. 96 points. You thought you were going to get a real cheeky play there, but it doesn't end up happening. And Royal 2 grabs the camo. This could very well be forcing us into a game 5 here at the rate we're going at. SnakeBite grabs the ball. No one was there to challenge, and that's the game. 2-1. Sentinels force game 5.
What a incredible series of events right there from Sentinels. It was worrying for a bit. I wasn't sure if Frosty was going to get that play ball, and it turned from him potentially not getting that play ball to almost alley-ooping himself to grab those last 4 or 5 seconds. It was just an absolute ridiculous sequence.
What a game on Recharge that we were treated to from Sentinels and C9, man.
Cursed.
This is
weapon right
curse.
there.
That was the curse
We're
sword.
just showing you some.
Then the code changed, and then it became uncursed. You know, and then
no, that was a new sword. I don't know what you're
Easter
talking about.
sword,
It's not
yeah.
like you can, unless you know some sort of spells or juju that I don't know, you cannot uncurse a weapon. I've not heard of that in my 20+ years of Halo.
Yeah, man, well, fair enough. I'll defer to your expertise on cursed weaponry, David. I will. Yeah, you know, but that was just an awesome game. Honestly, I feel like everyone contributed, played their part when they needed to. The camos were certainly hurting Sentinels, but it wasn't like they were like out of it, right? Because they were losing out on camos. And it goes to show you, right? Like, yeah, you could lose those power weapons, but hey, right, if you have the right idea, the right plan of attack, that's all you really need.
Yeah, when you're in situations like that, like, yeah, even though they got that camo, if you're able to still get a setup across the map, if you're able to force them to charge over towards you, the last few seconds of a game, you know, last 20 seconds of a round as a team scrapping up those times, is where you can actually scrap up those free kills as people overextend and as they try to force action. It's just a really uncomfortable position to be in.
Ooh, and our decider is coming up. Look at this series. Back and forth we go. This has been nuts. I did not expect this at all. You could say Cloud9, C9, or Sen. Of course, big thank you to FaZe, though, for putting this event on. You know, Tashi actually was talking about on Twitter how, you know, like, we want to see more of these tournaments, especially from the partner teams. And it just helps out. It contributes so much to Halo. Just get more out there, right? That isn't just HCS events, but just something different that we could sink our teeth into. But we're into the thick of it now. It's game 5, Cloud9, Sentinels, 2-2. Exactly what you want to see. And right out of the gate, we're starting with Eco. Got himself 2 kills.
And this is a $10,000 player match here on Aquarius. So the stakes are high. The loser of this is going to be taking 3rd place here in the FaZe Nissan Invitational. The winner of this gets to go on to the grand finals to take either 1st or 2nd with a 40 grand or 20 grand prize.
A lot of money on the line. All these players know what's at stake here. And that's why the games have been so intense. It has been a bit of a shocker as well, given the history between Sentinels and C9 and previous events past. But, you know, I do think that we're starting to see not just a new, you know, I guess like not a changing of the guard here, because I certainly don't think that's the case, but you're starting to see players catch up, level up alongside Optic and Cloud9. Sentinels certainly being the beneficiary of that here, and expected from a team with this caliber of play. SnakeBite and Frosty working in tandem to be able to get a kill in the back fridge there. StelluR goes in for the challenge, and look at the help as well, putting so many targets in front of StelluR, and all those BR shots clean. Gonna give them the lead, a 4-kill lead. It's his familiar territory as well, Dave. We saw in live fire Slayer when Sentinels were up in the game. Cloud9, time and time again, were able to find ways to come back into this, and they're gonna need to do the same thing here as they're down by 4.
Yeah, but I felt the times that Cloud9 were able to bring it back in live fire is when they were able to get that sniper. So I don't think the camo is going to have that same effect here on this map. I think we're going to see teams slowly start to pull ahead or tie it back up as this game kind of just goes back and forth. I mean, Aquarius, yes, you can start to get those slays and collapse. It's not quite the same as something like live fire. We can get like 3 or 4 down and then get a spawn trap over near green or anything like that. So we're gonna have to see how these teams really play it out. I mean, this one is just neck and neck, 2-kill game here for this $10,000 match.
Yeah, and even with that 4-kill lead that Sentinels had with the type of players we have here in the server, that will go away very quickly, right? So Sentinels are certainly, as Gaskin says, going to have to mind their their P's and Q's, I think it is, or something like that. I like to say dot their I's, cross their T's. They basically got to do everything right here, because Eco gets himself a double kill and ties the game right back.
That is a tie game. Both teams have all firepower on the map, 4 members up, and it's kind of crazy not to see all this cross-map fire. Keep in mind, when at a lower level of Halo play, you'll see people just poking out consistently, trying to find any sort of engagement across the map. These players are positioning themselves in a way where they want to make sure they catch someone off guard. They aren't just going to give away their position across the map. Instead, they're going to slowly go around the corner, wait till someone else is poking out, and then reveal themselves to secure a kill. It's not just going to be pointless fighting for the sake of fighting.
Yeah, a common misconception, especially for arena FPS games, is that, players are just flying and shooting and yelling at the top of their lungs. But no, there's a method to the madness that you see here. And you have to take your time. You have to be aware, even with all the chaos that's happening around you, being able to kind of take stock of what is happening and then react off of the information that's, being given to you and from what you see, but also your teammates. All that plays such a factor in why these players are at the level that they're at right now. 25-21 is Cloud9 now have that 4-kill lead. Sentinels can very well find a comeback here, but not if it keeps happening like that. Not if they keep trading out those kills. That could be quite dangerous for them. You're not at the point where trading out, as we had mentioned yesterday, Dave, is dangerous, but you still want to try and get as much value for your life as possible.
Yeah, you need to be winning those. If you're going for any of those individual engagements, you better be coming out ahead. And so it felt like in a situation like that during Royal 2 taking on, I believe it was StelluR, like you want that 1v1 fight, you better take it and win it. And unfortunately, that commando was just too much to deal with.
Yeah, it's like especially close range, automatic. That thing is vicious. It's exactly what you'd want out of a weapon called commando. But things are starting to slow down here. Frosty gets a kill. Charging across the map, SnakeBite does find a weakened player. Pznguin, okay.
What?
Okay. None of those bullets seem to work out.
Commando is so tough to finish off the one-shots. At least online has been my experience. So I feel like the Commando is great to get those bursts, close range, and then go for the melee, or just laying that damage mid-range and then switching over to the BR when you have to get the headshot.
Still going to be sticking with it because he's anticipating any players coming up close to him. His SnakeBite. Pznguin's going to be in the back of blue base. One member of Sentinels does go down. Frosty was actually caught out in the courtyard, as LethuL now is on the push. Needs to wait this one out. He needs some support, but the call actually came through, so SnakeBite had to handle the business that was in front of him, but Pznguin with a big fight win. A headshot there against SnakeBite Double kill, though, despite that, on the opposite side as Frosty gets 2. But it's still going to be that 6-kill lead that has been haunting Sentinels this entire time. Once C9 got the lead, they did not let it slip from their fingertips.
They have not, and we've been seeing these interesting 2v2 engagements across the map. And you notice them kind of waxing and waning between what they should be doing, whether it's shooting across the map and helping their other duo, or focusing on the threats nearby. But we now have Camo in the hands of Frosty, down by 4. Let's see if Frosty and Sentinels can close this gap.
Yeah, I think you mentioned before, like, Camo could be a factor, but not in a lot of cases with the way that things were going in Aquarius. But with Camo now this close, and on top of that, he can just stand out in the open and gain information for his team. LethuL's able to get a kill. Here comes the collapse now. Renegade tries to dip low, meets Royal 2, and well done by C9 to just respond to Sentinels in turn and do everything they can to not let that Camo be that much of an advantage here. But oh no, StelluR with a big melee takes out Frosty, keeps this lead 3 for C9.
Now a 3-kill game. You brought up that point about the Camo maybe not being enough. In my eyes, they closed that gap by 2, which is a good gap to close. However, it just seemed to just slip out of their hands again. Now we're going back and forth between the 2 and this 4-kill lead.
Triple.
And what incredible shots from Frosty, taking it in his own hands, getting a triple kill to make this now a 1-kill game. $10,000 on the line, Golden Boy.
A big game here. And a huge opportunity for Sentinels if they were to win this. They faced against them Cloud9 before. It was Sentinels Cloud9, 3-0 in favor of Cloud9. That has kind of been the tune that has been sung when talking about these two teams. But Cloud9 wants to keep the music going. 42-46, 4 kills now. A lead that was 6. It went down just as small as 2. But C9 always find the kills where they need them. And this is where things are going to start to slow down here. New active camo is going to be available. LethuL's in the back of the blue base by himself. Camo has not been picked up yet.
It's good if they have a chance to get that flank on it. Right now, I was going to say the bigger threat on the map was SnakeBite, who was over towards pink side with the heat wave. But no members of Cloud9 went towards that side, so that close range weapon is not going to be of any use anytime soon.
Oh, LethuL gets some information. He knows the 2 players are there. They have no idea that he's here. Unless that's the reason why they're kind of slowing up here. But if LethuL gets this kill in the corner, this actually could be big.
Yeah, LethuL's actually getting a little overzealous by looking so much across the map because the closest threat that we saw right there is Util. Now LethuL, realizing that the threat might be coming from, decides to wisely back down over towards pink side of blue base. Realizing since he's the furthest one up, he cannot afford to get weak when he's that close to the opposing team, and instead is so scared that he runs all the way back over towards the refrigerator.
Yeah, and no one's moved from that position. But here we go, SnakeBite. Like a predator, able to get 1 kill with the heat wave. He's looking for another one, but the sizzle sticks is actually going to stop him in his tracks. Will regain his shields.
I thought he jumped on a fresh sizzle stick. Not where you want to be with a camo.
Nope, not at all. SnakeBite's making the calls. All right, camo's done. Now he's just got to rely on the information that they got from that camo. 1 big kill in there is huge as he takes out Renegade. Looking for another one at Sizzle Sticks here. StelluR, he's going to be low, and I think that's why he wants Frosty to help him out, but Frosty will not be able to do so because he was weak himself. Here comes a challenge inside of the connector. Renegade's going to win it 44-47. Pressure over on the right side. Frosty had no idea that that player was going to be there. And now it's 49-44. This is it. A $10,000 frag is going to be the difference between moving on to the grand finals or just watching from the comfort of your stream setup. And that's going to do it as Cloud9 managed to win. But boy, oh boy, did Sentinels make them earn that.
That was such a tough one. I mean, they brought it back so many times. And I mean, I feel like that's got to be the closest series we've seen between Cloud9 and Sentinels here in Halo Infinite. Every other time we've seen them go to best, game 5, there's been at least one blowout game in there in one side or the other, but every single game here was just back and forth.
Yeah, that was exactly the uplift you would want before Kansas City if you're Sentinels. Cloud9 realizing that the competition is certainly heating up in Halo Infinite and the HCS. if teams are playing this well. Let's not forget, right? I think it was like Fnatic, Pioneers, like all these teams have grown so much from Raleigh to this point. And now with Optic, you know, playing the way that they're playing, and here's the final breakdown here, and just a great series across the board. No one player, you know, stood out above the rest. Everyone played their role, did as much as they could, and look at this layout. There's just no way you could be disappointed if you're a Sentinels fan, given the history between these two teams and how this series layout looks. This is great.